What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to this week's edition of Cocktails with Chrystal L. My name is Chrystal L. I am the creator of this little space and corner of the internet. My goal is to help create more safe and inclusive beauty spaces so that everyone feels like they belong. I am so excited for this week's edition called Is There a Shortage of Black Educators? Now, why did I come up with that title? So, a couple of weeks ago, I discussed the lack of diversity in beauty brands. This week, I'm going to talk about what diversity looks like when it comes to educators with larger beauty brands. Now, is there a shortage of educators? I don't know. But we know that on Cocktails with Chrystal, I always come with a cocktail. And today's choice is tequila and Sprite. I don't know if this Wednesday you have a cocktail in hand or not, but if you do, drop me your favorite cocktail in the comments and then drop in where you're from, what kind of business you have, if you're a stylist, an educator, a beauty brand. I would love to know all the things. So, today, we are talking about, is there a lack or a shortage of Black educators? Now, what I've noticed during my career, especially over the last 2 or 3 years, is that there isn't a whole lot of training that is diverse. So basically, a lot of the educators who educate are doing education on the hair that they have growing out of their head. India, I love me some chill Moscato. That is literally the only wine that I would drink. I love Moscato. Um, but what's happening with our industry is that we are seeing a lot of education brands coming out and they are putting their influencers ahead of the game, teaching techniques and styles that they've never taught in a class. They are teaching techniques and styles that are on overly textured hair. And they are not necessarily doing something that they're doing every day behind the chair. So, why? Why are we not bringing to the forefront the educators who've been doing this forever, whatever their specialty is, and putting them on larger platforms? Now, many brands over the last 2 years have been accused of hiring, of course, white women to, or white people to lead their training programs, who have little to no experience working with multiple textures of hair, hair and shapes. And I know for me, it was really disheartening when I watched our industry shift in 2020, where we were talking only about doing overly textured hair. And it was pretty much the influencers who we had been seeing all around versus bringing up educators who this is what they had been doing, always doing, and putting them on the forefront. Now, while brands over the last few years, some of the major ones like Shea Moisture and Curl's Daughter have made an effort in diversifying their staff over the last few years, there is still plenty of room for improvement. But you know me, I always like to come in from the perspective of this is the problem or the issue. Let's get curious about how we fix the problem or the issue versus just talking about the problem or the issue. So, how do we fix this gap in education? How do we fix this gap in the lack of diversity in the educators who we see front and center, who we see who've been doing this work forever? How do we get them in front of the audience with the skill sets that they have? And the way that we do that is by inspiring others to be the lead. So if you have a platform that has a very large following, inspiring those educators who might not necessarily have the opportunity to be on a platform, invite them to collaborate, invite them to come to your salon spaces, if you work for a big brand, put those names out there of the stylists that you've been watching who inspire you. One of the things that has been so exciting for me is last week, I spent 4 days in Chicago with Janetta Walker, who is um I don't want to say her title wrong, but I believe she's an educator for Alpha Park Milano, and they brought in educators from across the country. I believe there were 9 to 10 humans in that room. And what I can say is the diversity in age, race, background, salon status was amazing. And this is a reflection of what brand education should look like. This is a reflection of people who were from one of the lovely, amazing educators is on here, Damalia, who is in, I believe, San Antonio. So she is one of the educators who was there in Chicago. And it was amazing to see her with her specialties, her 25 plus years of experience being in a room with someone who had 3 years or 5 years or 7 years and watching the cultivation of ideas of why we do what we do. There was no wrong or right answers. It was like, I've been doing it like this because of this. And then they were able to talk to each other about ideas, right? There was so much curiosity going on in that room. And that's what education should look like. That's what we as educators, as big brands, should be pushing forth. We should be seeing diversity in the rooms of educators, not just on their specialties, but on their backgrounds, how long they've been in the industry. The education team should be a large part of what brands are doing. I am big on saying this is the age of the independent stylist. This is the age of the independent educator. And if we don't honor that, then we're going to miss out. So if you are wanting to bring salon education into your salon, if you're wanting to go out and be an educator, if you're wanting to align yourself with a big brand, pick brands that are aligned with your vision, that share the values that you believe in. Making sure that they are responsible for both teaching you as a consumer, as well as teaching people who are selling their products, right? So that was one of the big discussions that we had as distribution. Like, as distribution, what does that look like? Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Sophia. Thank you all. Hey, Girls of Curls, thank you all for joining me. I would love to hear your input on what it's like, because I see a lot of independent educators out here. What is it like? What has it been like for you as you are diving into exploring being an independent educator, having the ability to do multiple hair types and textures? Are you being pinged for just being able to do one specific type of texture or shape? That is the other thing. As independent educators, so with All Hair Academy, we travel, right? And when I travel to different states or salons, I always ask them, what do you want me to come and teach on? I'm a colorist, I'm a cutter, I built a phenomenal wedding brand. And when they tell me what they want me to teach on, I always tell them, I'm going to incorporate the importance of creating inclusive and safe spaces. That is weaved throughout all of my education, because I think that is what's most important. So I don't want to be known as someone who's just going to come talk on this topic, because I know every educator that I've met that sat in that room with me last week, all of them have a skill set that can be applied to multiple hair textures. All of them had so many aha moments where the industry had told them that this was hard, that you can't do this unless you've done this for hundreds of years. Now, what I will say is that that was just the tip of the iceberg. That was them being able to have some confidence to know the foundations of everything, right? I feel like what's happened is that we educators are showing up, we're teaching a technique, but we're forgetting the foundations. And you have to understand the foundations to be able to educate on all hair types and textures. Because I'm going to tell you, your students are going to ask those questions. Your students are going to want to dive deeper into, why does it work like this for so-and-so's hair? Why does it work like this for this type of shape? So it is our responsibility, if we're going to be educators, if we're going to walk into a room and honor the power that we've been given, that we do it in the way where we understand how to work with all hair types and textures and shapes. So I will say that there's a link between the ability for a stylist to grow and expand as an educator and being a stylist who educates the clients that sit in their chair. One of the things that I always say is that I've always been an educating stylist. And that's why when I decided to dive into the realm of education, it was a very easy transition. So if you are someone who is thinking, man, I really want to become an educator, I really want to align myself independently or with a big beauty brand, I invite you to get curious about being an educator every day when you step into that salon, understanding everything about your products, the why behind everything. One of the things that I loved about Alpha Par for those 10 days, those 4 days, is we dove into the why. It was like, why are we applying this to the scalp? Why are we applying this to the hair fabric? Why is this the shape? Why is the pH this? Why do we choose this product? So when you're able to tell your clients why you've aligned with this brand, why you chose this shampoo, why you chose this steam treatment, why you chose this color, you're going to be able to do the same thing for every single person that you educate when you walk into those classrooms, because that is what the students are going to want to know. They're going to know why you. Why are you the person that should lead me? And that is where knowledge comes in. I think we have forgot that we are, as educators, responsible, and we have a power to be knowledgeable, not just to walk into a room with flair, not to just have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 social media followers, but to actually educate people so that they can get from point A to point B and have a change, right? That they can have aha moment after aha moment after aha moment, that they can go home and be so inspired that they can't wait to use their products. I can tell you all, I had honestly not used much of Alpha Par Milano before I stepped into that training last week. And when I got home, I was so excited that I was like, I want to do all my kids' hair. So I have 3 kids with 3 different textures of curls. And I literally applied every product with the why. And I knew with my son who had these big bouncy curls, I knew why this was different than my daughter who had the finer, more loose curls. I knew why I was going to choose this product over this product. I knew when it came to styling that I was going to use this much of a pump versus that much of a pump. And to know that magic was, as a stylist who's been in the industry 13 years, to know the why so in-depthly, there was no other feeling like it. My kids were so excited that I was excited. And I don't know about you, but as an educator, you want to be able to step into a classroom and bring that excitement. And I think the only way that we're able to do that is when we're fully confident in the why behind what we're doing, fully confident in the reason why we're showing up, fully confident in our skill set, that we know that no matter who asks us, what they ask us, we're going to be able to ask those questions. And that is why I am super duper excited to partner as a brand ambassador with Alpha Par Milano. When I stepped into our partnership, I didn't know anything about the brand. The only thing that I knew was that we were aligned in our value system of curiosity, of expertise, and of inclusivity. And for me, I spent 9 months watching the brand, learning the family of the brand before I decided that, hey, this is someone that I want to align myself with, because it wasn't just about the products working. It was about that company showing up every day, showing up on social, having diversity, having inclusivity be at the forefront of their program, being a part of the revolutionary change that our beauty industry needs. So that is for me why I chose to align myself as still an independent educator 100%, but aligning myself with a product line and a brand that believes in my vision, not wanting me to morph myself into their vision, but believing in how can we support you so that you can get your word out. And for that, I am going to be forever grateful. So I would love for each of you to continue to be the best stylist, be the best educator, be the best human you can be, and continue to be curious about what's next for you. Continue to be curious about what can I add to my tool belt so that I walk into every single day, not just as an educator, but as an owner, as a stylist, as a commission, as a suite owner, having the confidence to bring everything that you know to your client. Because I promise you, when you start educating every day behind the chair, if you ever decide to step out into education, every time you show up live, every time you make a post, every time you write a caption, you're going to have on this hat that's going to sit different. it's going to hit different. And it's going to make the difference between you and the next stylist. So remember, every day is a new opportunity to slay. I am so excited that you hung out with me today for Cocktails with Chrystal. I will be back next week, same time, maybe. 6 p.m., maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, but I will definitely let you know. And remember, All Hair Academy is hitting the road. If you would like to bring me into your salon space or your suite or your city, please, please, please DM me the word host. And today, hey, Elizabeth, my love you. DM me host. And today we put the last ink details on coming to North Carolina for a huge event later on this year. So if you're in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, there is something that's going to be amazing coming your way. If you are anywhere else in the United States and you would like to bring All Hair Academy to your city, please DM me the word host and we can talk all about the things. And if you don't know, I've been in the industry 13 years and I have done all the things. I'm a systems girl, and everything from coloring to cutting to weddings, I will bring to you, and I will do it all from a lens of how do we create a more safe and inclusive space? How do you build your business so that you can have the life of your dreams that you deserve? And how do you just show up every single day as a better human, a better person? And I'm here for it. So remember, every day is a new opportunity to slay. Peace and love. Thank you all so much. Happy Wednesday.